Okay, I mentioned in previous videos that you can add additional custom data that you're collecting from the leads view. So for instance, when you click on this edit icon here, you have our system fields that you're able to add data to for a lead. But what if you want to add additional custom fields here that you want to collect data on? To do that, you're going to go over here to, click on templates, or under controls, templates, data, data fields. And here you have the option, just like if you watch the video for creating user profile data fields, you can do it for leads. Now, one thing to note, if you're not in all workspaces, you're not going to see all the ones that you built for specific users, right? You're only seeing what's inside of a workspace, and I'll explain that in just a second. So what I always mention is if you're creating system data fields and you have some for your own workspaces, you have them for your users, just get in all workspaces so you know what you're dealing with and what you're working with. In this case, I'm in all workspaces. I'm going to click on create data field. So when you create data field, the name is the label, right? So inside the edit profile or edit lead, you see the name such as first name, last name. That's what name is. So in this case, I'm going to set up, maybe we want to collect the GMB profile from every lead, have that as an option of putting that in. Next, type. So this is where you're going to select leads. So we have all these different options here, but leads is the one you're going to select, so it associates with the lead. And then input type. So we have all these different input types, from text areas to drop downs to checkboxes to single file uploads, multiple file uploads. In this case, I'm just going to do text input. And then this is where it gets interesting with workspaces. So when you start thinking about collecting lead data, a good example would be, let's say you're an insurance agent and you sell car insurance, health insurance, life insurance. You have different fields that you want to collect data on for your leads. And you don't want to see all of those fields every time you go inside of your leads view. So if you're setting up custom fields for yourself, because workspaces are essentially associated with you and how you organize your assets, and you have workspaces set up, such as life insurance workspace, a health insurance workspace, or a car insurance workspace, this is where you create those fields and assign them to a workspace. If you're setting up a CRM configuration for your users, so you may have a health insurance role for agents who sell health insurance, you may have a life insurance role for agents who sell life insurance, and you may have a car insurance role that are associated with car insurance reps. Or agents, right? So in those cases, you would create roles, and you're creating data fields for those roles so they see those options in their leads. In that case, this is what I'm doing. I'm creating a data field for a user role. So you will not select a workspace. Workspaces are for you, so if you leave this blank, you'll have an option of selecting a user role. So I'm going to hit add, and so at this point I can go into that new field that I've created. And just like the user info option, I have the option of creating a group. So this group will group all my questions that I want, or additional data that I want to collect. And to do that, you just click on here and you can select whatever you've set up prior. So in this case, I have an additional details already set up, and I think that will be just fine. I'm going to select that. I can also choose an icon if I want, and it automatically puts this in the first default sort position. So you can change the sort position as you build these out. And the next is the role access. So what's important here is I'm configuring a data field, not for myself, I'm the system admin, I'm creating a data field for that role, for that user role. And so those users are the only ones that are going to see these data field options. So in this case, go back to the example, if this was a health insurance field that I was creating for one of my agents, I would select that role. In this case, I'm going to select the support user role. And so now leads that any user that's in the support user role, when they go into their lead and click edit, they're going to see this option, GMB profile. Footnote, that's just a little extension of your label. And in addition, in default text, that's the placeholder that you can fill out. I'm going to leave these blank. And then requires important, if you set that, they will not be able to save the lead unless they fill that out. So don't use that if you don't have a plan to require the field. In this case, I'm not going to require it. So let me add one more real quick, and we'll go into that user so I can show you what it looks like. So let's add current CMS. So I'm going to add that, 2 leads. I'm going to choose text input. I'm not going to assign it to workspace because this is for users. Click add, and I'm going to go into that field and go ahead and choose that group. It's going to automatically create my sort position, save this to the group, and then I'm going to apply the role access. All the rest I'm just going to leave blank. So now when I go into this user, and I'll go into James, who's a support user role, and I'm going to go over here to the leads tab. And so now when I go into my leads and click edit, I now have those options in addition to the system fields. So you can create as many as you like and group them however you like, and associate that with user roles. Or if you're configuring the CRM for yourself just to organize your different avenues that you support, you can create them for specific workspaces as well.